Welcome to the 2022 primary election candidate videos, made possible by a partnership between Collin County Votes, an initiative of the Collin County Business Alliance, the Allen, Frisco, McKinney, and Plano Chambers of Commerce. I'm Leanne Libby, General Manager of Community Impact Newspaper in Plano, and I'm excited to introduce our viewers to Lorenzo Sanchez, running for House District 70. Welcome, Lorenzo.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. We're going to jump right in. So, with the first question. So, in your own words, what is the role of a state legislator?
I think the role of a state legislator is to go and make sure that they're finding solutions to issues that are affecting our community. I think that they should be really service-based individuals. I want to make sure that people know that when I'm running for Texas House, it's because I want to go and be of service to my community, a community that helped raise me, a community that I'm deeply passionate about. I love the people. I love my family. I love my friends. And I've been really fortunate to be a product of this community and being raised through the Plano school system. I know I have a unique perspective of what the needs are of our community, and I want to go down to Austin and be of service to make sure that we're finding those solutions.
Great. Well, so share with us, if elected, what would be your top 2 to 3 legislative priorities?
I have so many, right? It's always hard for me to narrow it down. If something that's affecting your household, I want to make it my priority. But I'm really focused on things like our economy. I'm making sure that when we start to rebound from COVID, that we're not leaving anybody behind, that we're not leaving our small businesses behind. We know how important that is for our community. I also have a really strong emphasis on education. I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing right now and successful in my businesses if it wasn't for the teachers that invested so much time and so much energy and making sure that I was going to need that I was going to know the things I was going to need to be successful in the future. So I want to make sure that I am out there fighting for our teachers and fighting for our students, making sure that we are not losing that competitive advantage. We know so many corporations relocate to this area because of our amazing education system, and we want to make sure that we never lose that.
Excuse me. So, Collin County is one of the fastest growing counties in the country. What are your thoughts on the growth to date, and what would your priorities be going forward?
Yeah, I've seen it grow from a sleepy town uh, into what it's become, right? I've been here over 25 years now in this community, raised here, and I've seen the growth. I want to make sure that we're doing it in a sustainable fashion. I want to make sure that we are uh, looking at the things that we know are going to be issues in the future so we can start to address them now, like our water, electricity. This is something that we talked about in our last election when I ran in 2020, talking about winterizing and weatherizing our energy grid to make sure that it can withstand the growth and make sure that our businesses know that Texas is going to make sure that we have the infrastructure we need to continue to relocate these large companies from out of state, and they know that they're going to be able to run their businesses effectively. So I'm really, really focused on making sure that we are uh, having sustainable growth, but also making sure that our resources continue to be there for our citizens in the way that we have expected it here in North Texas.
Well, so speaking of business, what do you see as the top needs for the business community, and what would you do to help meet those needs to ensure continued economic growth?
I think there's a big difference between our small businesses and our larger businesses as far as what their needs are concerned. So I would want to be taking an approach where I'm really looking at our small businesses and seeing how the state can help make sure that we're not losing them, especially during this pandemic. I think that we need to put a focus on really seeing where we're investing our money, especially the federal dollars that are coming into our state to make sure that we can get through COVID-19 and really just keep that Texas engine running in the way that we have become so accustomed to seeing. But I want to make sure that we are all really, really focused on doing the things that we need to do to really come out of this pandemic as strong as we went into it. And that's making sure that our businesses are really thriving, that they feel that their legislature and their legislator is listening to them and trying to find these solutions and not really getting involved in these political battles that we've seen taking place throughout our country. And it's really trickling down into our local politics. We need to get rid of that. We need to heal some of those wounds and build those bridges between people and ideas so we can get good, lasting solutions.
So, what do you see as the biggest transportation issue facing the county, and what would you do to address it?
I think traffic is a big issue for our county. I think a lot of people have moved and companies have moved into this location because they thought that their employees would be getting a better quality of life. And that better quality of life, I still believe exists in this area. But we need to make sure that people aren't being stuck in traffic, to get to work and to get home over an hour. We need to make sure that there's public transportation options for those who may not have a vehicle, or for those who are waiting on receiving a vehicle, or for any reason they just temporarily don't have transportation. I think we need to expand those options. I know that as we're expanding DART here in Collin County along our northern side with that silver line, we're losing a lot of bus routes that used to be the main routes that people would take to be able to live their lives, go to the grocery store, go to the movies, whatever it may be that they were doing. And with the elimination of those, we really need to make sure that we are continuing to provide options for people to get to where they need to go, and make sure that they can provide for their families.
So, the business community and many of the organizations that support it have been prioritizing promoting equity and diversity through hiring practices, through programs, and their community investments. Because Collin County is such a diverse area in every sense of the word, can you talk about what equity and diversity mean to you?
Yeah, I think we want to make sure that everyone is on a level playing field, right? And you touched base on it. Our community is so diverse. The district I'm running for, District 70, is a majority minority district. There's a lot of Asian Pacific Islanders. There's a lot of Hispanics and African Americans, and we need to make sure that they have a representative that's going out there to fight for all of their interests. I don't care what color, religion, background you are. I want to make sure I'm working for you and I'm giving you the opportunities, and your children the opportunities that existed for me when I was a kid growing up here in this area. I want to make sure that they know that I'm not going to be getting involved in political fights that are trying to divide our community. My main goal is to get down to Austin and work to find solutions that are actually affecting their households. And I'm going to talk to every single voter I can and register every voter I can.
Okay, that was weird.
You just lost him.
Um, it's because Kevin Morris logged in and they have the same link.
Yep. I was about
Oh,
to
man.
say, he was perfect connection-wise.
So,
There he is.
oh, there he is.
I wasn't sure if that was me or you guys. It said the host disconnected.
Yeah, give us just 1 second, Lorenzo. Ben, do I need to call Kevin and ask him to not, because that was the links are staggered, so he's just logging in early and it's the same link that Lorenzo has.
Yeah.
Can we prevent him
sure
from relogging in, or do I need to ask him not to?
you need to ask him not to.
Okay.
Make sure that they're not logging in until like 5 minutes before.
I think let's just start over with that question. Let me see if I
Okay.
can get Kevin.
You want me to wait till you get him, or go ahead?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
I bet it spooked him and he's not going to log back in for a second.
Or you
Okay,
could give him the
all
other
right.
link.
Well, then
All right,
it'll be the
Lorenzo, you
same
ready?
link as the person behind him.
Got it.
Okay, so this is the second to last question, so I'm going to reread it so you can answer it again. Okay. So the business community and many of the organizations representing it have prioritized promoting equity and diversity through hiring practices, programs, and their community investments. Because Collin County is such a diverse area in every sense of the word, Can you talk about what equity and diversity mean to you?
Yeah, I believe that equity and diversity mean that we're leveling the playing field to making sure that everybody, regardless of their faith or their background, has the same opportunities to be successful here in Collin County. We know that this district, House District 70, is a majority minority district made up of a lot of individual groups that have come together here, and they're all looking for the same things here in Collin County. They're making sure that they have a good quality of life, that their children and themselves are safe from violence, that they're able to thrive and prosper in a way that maybe they weren't able to do in their previous home. So I believe that being focused on diversity and equality is very important. But to me, it basically means making sure that they have a representative that's going to be fighting for them, regardless of what nationality or background they're a part of, and making sure that we are continuing to lift up our entire community, because we know that when our business owners are diverse and they're selling their goods, it makes our home such a wonderful place to live. We have amazing food, amazing stores, amazing people, and I think we should have a representative that tries to match that amazingness, that greatness that our community already has.
Great. So, final question. If you were talking to someone from outside of Collin County that was thinking of moving here or maybe moving their business here, what would be your 30-second elevator pitch?
I've had this conversation with so many people. I tell them, do it. It's an amazing place to live. Like I said before, our neighbors are amazing. Our teachers are the best, some of the best teachers throughout our country. Our students are eager to learn. Our students are inquisitive. We need a legislator that's going to go and match that greatness. But people already know throughout Texas and throughout our country that there is something special going on here, that it's not just, what's going on in the national narrative, that people here really do care about each other. They care about their neighbors, and there's something special about being a Texan, that we really fight for our neighbors. And I think we need that kind of representation down in Austin.
Well, thank you so much. I want to thank you, Lorenzo, for joining us today and allowing voters the opportunity to hear directly from you on these important issues.
I really appreciate your time as a small business owner. I know how important it is for us to talk about these issues and for us to start to address them, so we can really move our state forward and our communities the way that we would like to see them go forward.